Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengal fan on Twitter, repping the Bengals for the AFC Northerners. We're not doing a group show this week with the Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow. We're going to do individual shows, but we will be back at Rocco's next week with a group show. So let's get started. Now you're seeing the real cost of the not finishing the Green Bay game, the Tennessee game, and letting the Houston game get away from us with Eifert stepping out of bounds and the touchdown not counting. So now we're really seeing the effects of those, because had we won one of those games, we'd be 5-5. Had we won two of those games, we'd be 6-4. They were there for the taking. We just didn't take advantage of it. More proof that this is just not a good situational team this season. And it's unfortunate, I've said this in previous videos, it's really unfortunate how we're the only AFC North team that had to face Deshaun Watson and is having to face, had to face Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you looked at the Baltimore game last week. I mean, you could just see what a cream puff Green Bay is. I mean, even at home, they're nothing. And I don't expect them to put up any fight against Pittsburgh this week. Baltimore essentially gets another bye week. I think Deshaun Watson would have changed that game a lot on Monday night. And you're going to get the basically the cream puff game, with them getting Houston at home. So very just unfortunate. We're a really unlucky team with respect to that. And it's really hard to get excited, even though that we're 4-6. It's hard to get excited about this team right now because of the way they've looked offensively. Offensively, we're still last in the league in total offense. I think as of the end of last week, I think we're 263 or 264 total yards. That's total offense, rushing and passing. It's last by a lot. And if you look at last week's games, I mean, we did a lot of things better, but this offense was the benefactor of the Dre Kirkpatrick Keystone Cops interception where he fumbles at the 1 but recovers it. I mean, the offense was only asked to get 1 yard. It took them 3 downs to do it, or they got in on 3rd down. Yeah, so they took 3 downs to do it. And then another touchdown was set up by the Burfict forced fumble when he put his helmet on the ball and forced the ball out. We got the ball at like the 40, so they weren't asked to do a lot. And if you take away those 2 touchdowns, how much offense did they really generate? And the answer is not a lot. I don't want to be completely negative. They did do things better last week. I said in my post-game comments that we improved in time of possession primarily because we were 7 for 15 on 3rd down conversions. So that's going to help us keep drives alive, keep our defense off the field. They did get the key 3rd down conversions on the final drive. We had to give the ball up, but they were able to get our defense a little rest so they could come out and do the 4 and out. So they did do that better. Also, we saw better O-line play. I didn't comment on my last video on this, but we did see better O-line play. And if this team, I've said this throughout the season, could just be an average offensive line, I mean, we'll really see it pay dividends throughout the whole team. And another thing we did better last week was we ran less on 1st down. With the offensive line we have, we cannot run on obvious running downs. We cannot pass on obvious passing downs. The coaching staff has to do a better job of scheming and setting up a game plan in a situation that will play to our strengths and really help out this offensive line. We started to see a little of that last week. I'm not enough to get excited, but we started to see a little of that last week. Let's see if we continue in that direction. Some housekeeping. I've been really, really hard on Denard for the past few years, actually. And I just want to acknowledge that he really has played better over since like week 2 or 3. He's really come on and looked a lot better. And I want to acknowledge that. I'm hard on people when I expect better play, and I want to acknowledge when they've actually, put it into motion and done it on the field. And he's played better. Maybe he's a late bloomer. Remember, we picked up Reggie Nelson for a late round pick from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he basically was a disappointment to Jacksonville. He wasn't that ball hawking safety that we got. That was not the player that Jacksonville drafted. And I think as Jacksonville fans probably were watching him for for years on our team going, where was that when we spent a first rounder on you? I kind of felt the same way about Denard. It's nice that maybe he's a late bloomer and he's doing it now before his rookie contract's up so we can keep him around. But he has played better, and I want to acknowledge that. DGBG asked some questions in his Brown videos, which I want to get to. He asked, why does Marvin Lewis at his press conference look so uninterested? He looks annoyed to even be there. Marvin Lewis is probably one of the worst at press conferences, especially from a Bengal fan perspective. He has that shit-eating grin on his face following losses where he has nothing to laugh about. I mean, I've watched these press conferences and I just wanted to reach in the TV and slap him across the face because he gets that grin. It's like, what are you grinning about? You didn't do your job. You're horrible. And other times, I think he's trying to channel his inner Belichick and be so aloof, like he's got better things to do, and I'm just better to be here, better than my time's better spent than being here. I think he tries to channel that inner Belichick, but believe me, he's no Belichick. So, and that's obvious. So, but he's just totally annoying at the press conferences, and hopefully we're going to see the end of them at the season. I would like to see the end of them now, but clearly Mike Brown's paying him, so he ain't going anywhere. The other question was in response to a comment that he made at a previous press conference saying it's unfortunate that they have to spread the ball amongst 3 players. And that was in response to why Mixon wasn't getting more carries. And DGBG asks, if he wants to give Mixon more carries, why isn't he doing that? Well, we saw in a later press conference that he had absolutely no intention of giving Mixon more carries. He said that that was when he made his stupid comment about him needing to sit back and learn from Jeremy Hill. Well, obviously, we all know Jeremy Hill has nothing to teach anybody. Starting with ball security. I'll never forgive him for that fumble. Yeah, I'm not over it. So I don't think he ever intended to give Mixon more carries. I think he's been forced to now that Jeremy Hill's on the IR. He has to. He's only got 2 backs to split the carries with. The last question was, why don't we use John Ross on kickoff and punt returns to get him more involved? I'd like to get John Ross involved just in the offense in general. But obviously he's in Marvin's doghouse. Why he doesn't work on kickoff and punt returns, I don't know that he's a good fit there. We haven't seen enough from John Ross to know how he runs in traffic. That's the real key to kickoff and punt returns. Alex Erickson is very good in traffic, which is why I like him so much. He's just a gritty player. And at any opportunity Alex Erickson's given, he takes advantage of. We don't know what we have in John Ross, which is why he needs to be out there. You can't have him quit on one play and you just don't run him anymore. He needs to be out there learning, but clearly he's in the doghouse. But I don't know, until we know how he operates in traffic, I don't know that we can actually put him in on kickoff and punt returns. He was in for 1 running play in week 2 and he fumbled the ball. So that might be a concern. Also, we don't know, how if an injury is, his injury prone history plays into that, because it's really easy to get hurt on a kickoff or punt return. So I don't know how much that's playing into it, but I would like to see him out on the field more, not on kickoff and punt returns, but as a wide receiver. Touching on this game, we have a real gift with Ogba being out. Andy's had problems with tip balls. Obviously protection is a big issue for this offensive line. So Ogba being out for the season is a real gift for us, because he would have been a problem. The other thing is it's a shame that the A.J. McCarron trade didn't go through, because the storyline on this game would have been a lot more exciting and a lot different had it been A.J. McCarron's return to Cincinnati as a Brown. Had the trade gone through, it didn't go through, so we didn't get that storyline. But that would have been interesting. We've always kind of had our way with the Browns of late. We have our highest scoring game is against them in Cleveland. We scored 31 points, and actually could have been a shutout. We gave up a very late touchdown in that game. So I see more of the same. I think we win this game. And I'm predicting a 27-20 score. I do think Kaiser has shown that he's getting better as the weeks go on. Bengals figure out a way to probably keep this game close. Closer than it could be, probably play calling and not staying on the field as an offense or not getting off the field as a defense. You could see my comments about situational football and what we're not doing in my last, in numerous previous videos. But I do think we win this game. Like I said, I'm predicting a 27-20 game. So, And I will have my post-game comments up after the game this weekend. Shout out to Rocco's Tavern. Great place to take in a game. Great vibe. Whether you're near UCLA, near USC, Culver City, or Studio City, definitely go check them out, even if it's not for football. Like I said, great sports bar, great vibe. Also want to do a shout out to Noob Football. Jose's been stepping in for Jan when he can't do the videos, so definitely check out some of his shows as well. My brother from another mother, New Stripe City, want to give a shout out to Ace Boogie. And also I want to give a shout out to Daddy-O from Cincinnati, D&H Sports. Also does a Bengal show, so check him out. Want to wish everybody a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And I'm going to sign off as I will, as long as Marvin is our head coach, with fuck Marvin Lewis. Okay? Have a nice Thanksgiving, everybody. Take care. Bye.